episode of Wrestling with Siblings. I'm your host, Araceli, and this is my co-host, Armando.
Hi guys, I'm Armando, and welcome to Wrestling with Siblings.
Alright, let's get started with the A show, SmackDown Live. We weren't even an hour into the show, and already SmackDown was killing it.
Raw last night was pretty good, and today, SmackDown just completely blew the roof off.
It definitely did, and it looks like Raw has some competition for next week. They're going to have to really step up their game if they want to top this SmackDown Live.
This is definitely the best SmackDown of 2019.
100% agree with you on that one. Alright, now let's get started with SmackDown Live. Stephanie and Shane McMahon open up the show, and they're already inside of the ring with Daniel Bryan and Rowan getting ready for the contract signing for pretty much what was supposed to be the main event of Fastlane, Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship.
One thing I was surprised to see Stephanie in SmackDown, she's usually not there, but just something to throw out there.
Yeah, she kind of just avoids going to SmackDown at all costs unless it's highly important, and in this occasion she decided to show up, so glad we had Stephanie there.
I thought she was going to mention something about Becky Lynch just because she got arrested last night on Raw. But no, she was there for the contract signing.
Yes, and then they pretty much introduced Daniel Bryan, who was already sitting in the ring, as I said. And then they start talking about Daniel Bryan's opponent, somebody who earned their opportunity to be there. And to make this very, very short for you guys, Kofi Kingston. Or at least we thought it was going to be Kofi Kingston. A shocker, a surprise, when Daniel Bryan signed the contract and then Kofi was just about to sign. And then Vince's music hits, he comes out and he says, "I'm super grateful for the last 11 years that you've given the company. I really do appreciate all your hard work, but I feel like somebody else should take your spot, somebody more deserving." And we got the return of Kevin Owens.
The man, Vince McMahon, did it again and pulled a fast one on us by changing Kofi Kingston or Kevin Owens, which is a great opponent for Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
We're still going to get a good match, but I would have loved to seen Kofi Kingston have a title shot at Fastlane.
This just means that we're going to be getting Kofi Mania at WrestleMania. And I am super excited because we're going to finally get to see Kofi get his moment at the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania.
Yeah, and then we're pretty sure Kevin Owens is going to be included in that match as well, making it probably a triple threat match.
Yeah, more than likely that's what's going to end up happening.
This kills Kofi Kingston's momentum to a certain point. Just because he's been having the past couple of weeks, they've been great, and he's shown us what he's capable of. But at the same time, it could be a downfall for him because he cannot be motivated anymore. I mean, think about it. It took him 11 years to get a title shot for the WWE, and now he's seeing everything go away.
Yeah, but I do feel like this is going to motivate him even more because now he's going to want to prove the chairman wrong. Kind of like a Finn Balor situation, but now they kind of try to turn it into a Becky situation where she's out of the match and they replaced her with somebody else. But keep in mind, there is still about 6 weeks left until WrestleMania, so he definitely has some time to change Vince's mind. And without a doubt, I'm pretty sure he is going to go to WrestleMania and win.
And yeah, definitely it could go both ways. But it was just something I was throwing out there.
And we get to see the bar come out. And this is super, super exciting because I was not expecting this. This was probably the biggest surprise of the night, because the bar was set to face Jeff Hardy, but instead of Jeff Hardy, we got the Hardy Boys, the return of Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy together as a tag team.
I was super excited to see the Hardy Boys back in action in tag team competition.
100%. It's been quite some time because last I remember, they both got drafted to different brands, and then one was Woken Hardy and the other one wasn't. And then it just became this whole thing where we hadn't seen them, and then Matt Hardy left. And now he's back, and I'm super glad he's finally back with Jeff Hardy. Could potentially be their last run together.
And the Hardy Boys look even better than ever.
Yes, they definitely have been training. They definitely have been practicing, and they have been fire.
And this is the thing with the Hardy Boys, no matter if they're apart or on different brands, when they come together, they're always on the same page, and the chemistry is always there.
Yes, and a part of that comes from the fact that they are brothers, so that alone gives them the chemistry that they need. But even then, it's like they were working insanely well together, as well as the bar. But also, keep in mind, they are the veterans, and their age kind of gets to them. And in this match, I feel like that was beyond this factor because you couldn't even tell that they were getting older, you know? And this match was kind of one of the old matches that I got to see because it was super incredible to me. And I feel like Matt Hardy looks way better than he did before he left.
Yeah, it looks like he's lost a little bit of weight. He's more in shape now, which makes it even better because it's going to improve his in-ring performance.
And you can tell that the bar was not ready for the Hardy Boys. You can definitely tell because they started off a little bit slow, and then once they adapted, and that is one of the things that the bar has. They adapt super quick, and once they were able to adapt, they were able to isolate Jeff Hardy and keep him as far away from Matt Hardy as he potentially could.
Yeah, they knew by isolating Jeff Hardy that they would be able to stand a chance, but that did not happen. And the skills of Jeff Hardy and Matt came up much stronger, and that gave them the win at the end of the night.
Definitely. And it's going to be interesting to see who they feud with. Potentially the Usos, the new champions, or they could potentially face somebody like Shane and Miz now.
Yeah, and Matt Hardy looks like he hasn't lost a beat.
Oh, definitely not. He looks a lot better than when he left, as I said earlier. He was gone with an injury, I believe it's what it was. I don't remember what the injury was, but I do know he was out with an injury, and it looks like it's healed. It looks like he's ready, and I'm looking forward to see what's next for the Hardy Boys going into WrestleMania.
Another huge addition to the tag team division in SmackDown, having the Hardy Boys now, it's another plus.
Yes, that definitely is. Raw, you gotta really step up your game because SmackDown tag team division is coming for you, and the entire SmackDown show is in general.
Keep in mind that was the second surprise of the night.
Yes. Now, R-Truth and Carmella, the Fabulous Truth, I'm super glad they're still together. The chemistry is obviously there, and they obviously have fun doing this together.
Yeah, I'm super glad that R-Truth is back in action after being injured for a couple weeks.
Yeah, because, last time he was on SmackDown, he got attacked brutally for no reason. But I'm glad to see him back finally, and he's going to be the defending champion we always look for, because he said that ever since he was a kid, he wanted to be like his hero, like his idol, John Cena.
So therefore, he had an open challenge to anybody that was back there in the locker room who thought they could actually beat him.
Yes, so he said he was going to follow in his footsteps. Therefore, who decides to come out? Andrade and Selena are going to answer this challenge. But then, Rey Mysterio returns. That's the third surprise of the night. Rey Mysterio returns and he attacks Andrade, making it pretty much a triple threat. And then they get into the ring, and R-Truth is like, wait a minute. There is a dilemma here. You and you, who am I going to face? And then he's like, in this occasion, what would John Cena do? And that's when Carmella is like, John Cena would face both of them.
But keep in mind, R-Truth did hesitate about facing both of them. He was like, you know what? I'm not going to face any of you guys tonight. He changed his mind.
Yeah, and then he said, damn, he's brave, when Carmella said that John Cena would face both of them. But at the end of the day, he was like, you know what, I am going to make John Cena proud. So he gave both these men the opportunity, and what a killer match it was. I'm telling you, we weren't even an hour into the show, and the show was already fantastic. I was at the edge of my seat.
Yeah. I was excited that Andrade had responded to the United States Open Challenge. I felt like he's had one hell of a year and that he's deserved it. But then I didn't expect Rey Mysterio to attack him from behind.
Definitely.
We haven't seen Rey Mysterio, I believe, since last time he faced Andrade.
Yeah, it's been maybe about 3 weeks now since he's been gone. It's been quite some time, and Andrade since then has been dominating and winning matches. And Rey Mysterio has been nowhere to be found, and now that Andrade finally is going to get his one-on-one opportunity, and I feel like if he would have gotten a one-on-one versus R-Truth, he would have definitely walked out as the champion.
I have to agree with you on that 100%.
But overall, the match was great. Andrade showcasing his talent. Same thing with R-Truth and Rey Mysterio. Obviously, you can tell the rivalry between Andrade and Rey Mysterio is still not over, and it's far from over.
Yeah, and like you said, I don't think it's going to end anytime soon.
I could potentially see it ending right after WrestleMania, but at least not now. At least not from what we saw today. We did see Andrade went straight after him as soon as the match started. And that's something that R-Truth took advantage of, because he saw them fighting, and at the end he was able to pretty much steal the victory when he pinned Andrade, simply because of what was going on between Rey and Andrade.
And then R-Truth proving that he can hang with top talent in the WWE.
Yeah, I've always seen R-Truth as a top talent. I just feel like he never really got the push and the recognition that he deserves, and now he's finally getting that. It's going to be interesting to see how long he remains champion, though, because one of these men will definitely beat him for the U.S. Championship.
But keep in mind, R-Truth was very smart because he waited for the perfect opportunity to capitalize on the win. And he pretty much stole the victory today, to be honest.
And Andrade, after losing, was super upset. And he goes after Rey Mysterio, and then obviously he got saved once Rey was trying to do the 619 again.
I would be upset too, because that's an opportunity that I was going to take, and all of a sudden somebody takes it away from my hands or minimizes the opportunity of me winning the United States Championship.
Well, you already know there's going to be repercussion for that, because Selena is the brains. She's obviously going to find her way into another open challenge to get Andrade there and get him to potentially win. But like I said, I'm okay with Andrade not being the champion right now if he's going to get it at Mania, because that is deserved at this point. And Rey Mysterio, I want to see what's next for him. Obviously, we already know the feud with Andrade is not going to be over, but I do want to see him be the man that can dethrone R-Truth and then move on to defending the championship against Andrade at WrestleMania. That's the feud I want to see going into
That would be phenomenal.
I agree. Alright, let's move on to Charlotte Flair, who basically comes out and she says that not very often she gets to witness history. She says this because Vince pretty much came out and changed the entire Fastlane main event between Daniel Bryan and Kofi. Now instead it will be Kevin Owens versus Daniel Bryan. The main event changed, and she said that he made it better by adding Kevin Owens.
I agree, because it's a blockbuster name. Kevin Owens versus Daniel Bryan. What else?
And she says that she gets it because Vince chose to save WrestleMania, the main event, just like he chose to save the main event of Fastlane. And by doing that, she was added to the match. Or she took the spot of Becky Lynch, whichever way you want to say it. And she said that Vince also did it because she stays in her lane and she doesn't really cause destruction. Kind of like throwing a shot at Becky Lynch. You can put it that way, because she pretty much says, I know my lane and I stay in it, and that's why I deserve to go on to WrestleMania.
Yeah, and she deserves it for many other reasons too, just because of her talent and what she's done in the ring ever since she's debuted.
And she pretty much makes it really clear that she was upset because Ronda Rousey laid down the title, and she says that's a disrespect to the title that she's held before, that she's worked to make super, super prestigious. I get where she's coming from, because Ronda just laid it down, but she was upset because of that.
Yeah, and obviously Ronda is trying to get Becky added to the match.
Yeah.
At WrestleMania.
Of course. And regardless, she says she is the best wrestler there is, and she's gonna go on to main event WrestleMania. So that's pretty much all Charlotte had to say. I was surprised she didn't mention anything about Ric Flair.
And keep in mind that she also did mention that she was gonna be on Raw next week, to claim her Raw championship, women's championship.
Yes. So does that mean she's just gonna be crowned the champion? I don't think so. I think that's just what she's expecting. But we already know Becky Lynch is going to end up coming out, and that's not going to happen. They're not just going to hand the championship to somebody, even if it's Charlotte. They're not going to hand it to her. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, and keep in mind, Ronda's probably going to come out to him and be like, hey, that's mine. I haven't lost it. So, we'll see what happens.
And Charlotte also makes it very, very clear that the difference between her and Ronda is that she would never quit, which she pretty much emphasized that Ronda Rousey was doing by laying down the title, and she also said that Ronda is scared of her, and so is Becky Lynch.
We'll see. I don't believe they're scared of her, but
I personally would be scared of Charlotte Flair just because of who she is. She's incredibly talented, and that alone just tells you, okay, if I don't step up, she could beat me, and she's already thinking like a champion. I'm gonna go to Raw and claim my championship. If you don't think like a champion, what is there to do? So, it's going to be interesting to see what goes on Monday night on Raw. Alright, moving on to Aleister Black and Ricochet versus Nakamura and Rusev with Lana, of course.
Hopefully, Aleister Black and Ricochet stay as a tag team together for a couple months, because, like I said, the SmackDown division, tag team wise, is just fire. It is amazing, and this is another great addition to them if they decide to stay together like that.
I feel like they should, but I don't think this would be the brand for them. Here's the thing. I see them both in separate brands. I could potentially see them as a tag team moving forward. That being said, if they do go on as a tag team, I would put them in Raw. Simply because look at all the teams that SmackDown has. The Usos, the Bar, the New Day, the Hardy Boys. They pretty much have everybody. Sanity. They have all the talented people. Not that Raw doesn't, but adding them to the Raw tag team division would help them out even more. But if I had to split them, I would put Ricochet on Raw and I would leave Aleister Black in SmackDown.
And we know this is a temporary thing that pretty much after WrestleMania and the Superstar Shakeup, they're probably all going to get split up and get into different brands. But as of right now, I like this tag team and it's one of my favorite ones.
I like it too. I feel like Aleister and Ricochet have a different type of chemistry and a different type of chemistry we haven't seen before. And I like it. I like where this is going. Aleister Black, extremely impressive. He impressed me since the second he stepped foot into the ring in this match because he is that good. He is that incredible.
And he decided to go face to face with probably one of the best strikers in the WWE right now, if not in the world, Shinsuke Nakamura. And he was also playing mind games with him.
Yes, he definitely was. And that is something that you know and you could tell affected Shinsuke Nakamura because he was kind of off. Every time Aleister came into that match, he was a little bit off. If you noticed, he wasn't able to really take a shot at Aleister Black. And I feel like that's part of the mind games.
Yeah, but also Aleister Black was always a step ahead of him.
Exactly, 100%. And Ricochet, man, incredibly talented. There is so much he can do and so much he can bring to the tag team division. And not only that, to the singles competition division, or whatever you want to call it. He can bring so much to any roster you put him in any matches. He is one of those that no matter who you put him with, he's going to deliver 100%.
Yeah, and then Rusev is kind of frustrated because we know he didn't have a great U.S. Title reign like he wanted to. So he's frustrated, he's angry, but at the same time he was working well with Nakamura.
I mean, not only the fact that he didn't have the U.S. title reign that he wanted, because I agree with that, he didn't. It was nothing memorable came out of it, but I also feel like ever since the Aiden English feud, he hasn't really had anything going for him, and he's just been floating around, kind of like a Finn Balor used to be on Raw. He's just floating around doing random things, and I feel like he's really trying to prove how good he is and how talented he could be and how good of a matches he can have, and I feel like he's trying to prove that.
Yeah, he's not focused 100% on the matches, you could tell. And keep in mind that Lana is also hurt, so he also has to worry about Lana being ringside. That she doesn't get hurt, because we know that when Lana tries to get involved, she ends up hurting, and a perfect example was the Chamber.
Yeah, and like you did say, he is working extremely well with Nakamura. We do know at some point we didn't even think this tag team was going to work. It was just kind of thrown together one night, but now it's kind of working, and it's going to be interesting to see if they become a Sheamus and Cesaro, or if it just goes out of the blue.
Sorry, Lana did not get her in the Chamber. It was in the Royal Rumble. Just to rephrase that.
It was a few months ago, sorry. Sometimes I don't catch these things, guys. I'm sorry. But yeah, they've been working really, really well together, and it's going to be interesting to see if they do become, like I said, a team like Sheamus and Cesaro, or if they just go out into the blue.
Hopefully they stick around, but at the same time, I would like to see them in singles competition. I feel that these two have the potential to do much more.
But I also feel like this is a way for them to be used, and I'm pretty sure you agree with me on that, because singles competition, there's too much competition going on, whereas in tag team, they have a bigger chance and a bigger opportunity to shine.
Yeah, and hopefully this tag team does end up working for the good of them.
Yes. And obviously Nakamura off his game, and Aleister Black and Ricochet still undefeated. They haven't lost. Very, very impressed. Looking forward to see where they go with them.
Yeah, all the NXT talent that has been showcased in Raw and SmackDown, they haven't lost and they've been super impressive. So they're here to make a statement and pretty much take over both brands.
Yep, and it's going to be amazing and interesting to see which brands they go to. I wonder if they're going to be at NXT TakeOver New York. That's a good question. We'll find out, I guess, as we get closer to the show. Alright, moving on to the main event. This match was pretty much made backstage when Kevin Owens was seen talking to Stephanie and Shane after Vince had already made the announcement that he was going to be replacing Kofi Kingston at Fastlane. He talked to them and he said, let me team with Kofi because I feel like he still deserves an opportunity. So, they made this match official and this was the main event. Kofi Kingston and Kevin Owens versus Daniel Bryan and Rowan.
Yeah, because of what happened, I didn't think Kevin Owens was going to partner with Kofi Kingston. But it came from him and he wanted to do it and it ended up being great.
That's when we found out he was a face because when he did come out, he didn't say a word. He just kind of went, signed the contract, and, they left it at that. But he's a face. Very, very interesting. I like heel Kevin Owens better, but I'm willing to give Kevin Owens a chance as a face. I feel like regardless, he's going to kill his character, and you have to love Kevin Owens whether as face or a heel.
Yeah, Kevin Owens is that type, like you said, that you can't hate him as a face and you can't hate him as a heel. He's just in between, but I like him more as a heel. He's that type that it's natural for him.
Yes, and he's super, super good at it. He has mastered it, and like you said, it's natural for him, but also it's going to be interesting to see what he does with his face character. And I feel like he plays both very, very well. And like you said, you just can't hate him when he's face, and you can't hate him when he's heel either. So, very interesting. Moving on to Kofi Kingston, who obviously has been stealing the show for the past month. I mean, you could even say he's been stealing it since the Royal Rumble because he always has something interesting going on at the Royal Rumble. Some entrance, big exit, and a huge entrance going back into the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, he's just been killing it these past couple of weeks, and we knew from the get-go he was talented, and he's just proving it these few weeks.
And I also feel like he never really got that opportunity up until now, and that's when we really started to realize, okay, we have been underestimating Kofi Kingston this entire time. And that comes from us always being used to seeing him with the New Day, being a tag team. He's either at ringside with the New Day or he's in a tag team match. And I feel like that really took away from Kofi Kingston, but now we're finally getting to see him as the super athlete that he is.
Yeah, definitely. And keep in mind that he is really taking advantage of the opportunity because remember, he replaced Mustafa Ali in the Gauntlet match. So he knew that it is now or never.
Yes.
So he is taking the opportunity to the fullest.
And I feel so bad for him because he really does deserve it. But I also know that bigger and better things are coming for him at WrestleMania. And they support him super, super well. They will always be like, you know what? This is mean. This is rude. How could you do him like this? 11 years he dedicated himself to this business, and you're just going to screw him over like that? That is some goals right there.
Yeah, they're definitely supporting him all the way through.
That's a brotherhood. But now moving on to Rowan. I was incredibly impressed with him. We haven't seen him wrestle since he came back. And when I saw him wrestle in this match, which is, I guess you can say, his first match wrestling back ever since he got injured or he left, or I don't even remember why he left in the first place. But this is his first match back. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, just a complete powerhouse.
Oh yeah, he completely dominated in that aspect, and I feel like he's going to be a great asset to Daniel Bryan if he hasn't been already.
Yeah, he already has been. Keep in mind that he has been at ringside for Daniel Bryan's matches.
Yeah, but he hasn't really done much for him. So far, it's all been kind of just Bryan, but wait until he really starts to get involved. After what I saw today, Bryan is smart.
Very impressive, and I don't know why, but it seems that after the injuries, a lot of the superstars end up coming better. They're motivated to get back into the ring, and this is a perfect example of Rowan.
And I feel like that comes from them not wanting to lose their spot. Because you get to a certain height, and you're just like, okay, yeah, I'm doing good. And then you get injured, and you're like, okay, now I gotta restart all over, because now there's a whole new amount of people or talent that has come up, and now I have to compete with all of them to get my spot back. So I feel like that's where that comes from.
And for a guy his size, he could move in the ring. I mean, we saw it today throughout the match.
Yes.
Nailing some impressive moves.
And Daniel Bryan, I gotta give it to him in this match, though. He was putting over Kofi Kingston, and he definitely gave Rowan the opportunity to shine and to showcase what he's really made of.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan really didn't cut a promo today, which was kind of surprising. You know, even during the contract signing, he was just sitting there quiet, didn't say anything, was just staring at Kofi, and then when Kevin Owens came out, he was just staring at him and didn't say much.
I think it could be a mind game that he's trying to play. He's trying to get into his opponent's head, but I feel like that's going to be very hard, especially with Kevin Owens. Keep in mind, Kevin Owens is the ultimate manipulator. He can get inside his opponent's head super well.
Yeah, and he always has something up his sleeve, like you said.
Exactly. So it's going to be interesting to see where they go with this. There's 2 weeks until Fastlane, I believe, so the build-up until then should be pretty good, especially since Kevin Owens just came back. I'm excited.
Yeah. So that was SmackDown for you guys. Very, very excited. Let us know what you guys think.
Yep, let us know in the comments below. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Become a sibling today. And if you want to get one of these, they are available at WrestlingWithSiblings.com. We will leave that down in the description for you guys. If you want to win one, you could write us a review on iTunes or leave us a comment down below. Any comment, let us know why you want to win it. We'll just put it that way. And remember, become a sibling today. And for those of you that do not know what WWS stands for, Amado, what does WWS stands for?
Wrestling with Siblings. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you again next time.
Yeah, see us next week on a brand new episode of Wrestling with Siblings.